Good morning, my friend. Before you take your first step into the day, let's talk about the one who already knows where every step will lead. You don't have to figure out the entire map of your life today. You don't have to know what will happen this afternoon or next week or next year. What matters now is that you are willing to let God walk ahead of you, to guide you into the places where His goodness is waiting. Even if you cannot yet see them, you may feel strong today, or you may feel unsure and weak. You may have plans that excite you or worries that weigh you down. But here is the truth. You are not meant to carry the burden of control alone. You have a shepherd who loves you, who sees the road before you, and who knows how to lead you through valleys and over mountains. If you let Him guide you, you will never walk without purpose. Think about this. Every path you have ever walked brought you here, not by accident, but because God's hand was quietly shaping your steps. Even when you felt lost, even when you wandered, He never stopped seeing you. He never abandoned you to your own confusion. That same God is with you this morning, ready to lead you again, if you will place your trust in Him. Let's be honest, sometimes you want to take the lead, to choose the faster way, to avoid the detours, but the paths you would choose for yourself are not always the ones that will keep your heart safe or bring you the deepest joy. God's way may seem slower, quieter, or even harder at first, but it is the only way that will bring peace to your soul in the end. So today, instead of asking God to follow you and bless your own plans, why not choose to follow Him? Instead of demanding answers before you move, choose to move in faith, trusting that His Spirit will nudge you when to turn left or right, when to stop and when to go. There will be moments when the road looks unclear, and that's when you'll be tempted to grab back the control. But if you pause, pray, and wait, you will find that His whisper is enough to keep you moving in the right direction. And when you walk in His ways, you won't just end up in the right place. You'll also become the right kind of person along the way, gentler, wiser, humbler, and more like Christ. If you can, take a moment right now and tell Him in your own words, "Lord, I don't know what this day will hold, but I choose to let You lead." That simple prayer is not weakness, it's strength. It's the courage to admit that you need the God who sees the whole picture. And as you say those words, imagine His hand taking yours, steadying you for every step ahead, whether the day ahead is filled with open doors or unexpected walls. He will be your guide through all of it, and by tonight, you will look back and see His fingerprints on every choice, every conversation, every blessing that came your way. You already know how easy it is for your feet to move faster than your heart, for your mind to run ahead of God's timing. But this morning is a reminder, you are not racing towards some distant finish line. You are walking with your Lord. Every step matters because every step is shared with Him. You may have a to-do list that feels endless, deadlines that press against your peace, or uncertainties that whisper fear into your soul. But none of those things are bigger than the one who goes before you. If you let Him lead, you will find that the path, no matter how winding, will be filled with small, holy moments, glimpses of His presence in the ordinary. Walking in His ways means slowing your soul enough to notice the road He is shaping under your feet. It means resisting the urge to measure your day only by productivity, and instead measuring it by obedience and faithfulness. You don't have to chase after what is not yours to chase. You don't have to knock down doors that God has not opened. You only need to walk through the ones He gently swings wide for you. This is freedom, knowing that you don't have to make your own light or carve your own way. The Creator of all things is your light, your compass, your safe passage, and yes, there will be days when the path feels steep, when the wind of doubt blows cold in your face. Those are the days you will be tempted to question His leading, to wonder if maybe you took a wrong turn. But remember, He is not just the God of straight roads and sunny skies. He is the God who walks with you through shadows and storms. The God who makes the wilderness bloom. The God who turns dead ends into new beginnings. Even when your surroundings make no sense, His presence is still your direction. If you could see the way He sees, you would never doubt His route. You would understand why certain doors stayed shut, why some seasons took longer than you hoped, and why He led you into places that felt uncomfortable at first. He was preparing you, protecting you, and shaping you for what was ahead. Trust is born in these moments, not in the easy parts, but in the ones where you have no choice but to let Him guide you because you cannot see the next step for yourself. So as this morning unfolds, make a quiet decision in your heart. Lord, my steps are yours, my plans are yours, my future is yours. When you hand Him the map, you are not losing control, you are choosing the safest, most certain way forward. You are saying that you believe His ways are better than yours, even when they look unfamiliar. And every time you choose this trust, you loosen the grip of anxiety and fear, and you make room for His peace to settle over you like a warm covering. Do not underestimate the beauty of one faithful step. You don't have to see the whole staircase. You only need to lift your foot in the direction He is calling you to go. And sometimes, that step will be as simple as choosing kindness over irritation, patience over frustration, or stillness over hurry. In these small obediences, you are walking in His ways, and heaven notices every single one. And here's something else to remember. God's guidance is not always about where He is taking you, but about who you are becoming along the way. When you follow Him, you are not just reaching destinations, you are being transformed into someone who reflects His love, His mercy, and His truth. This is the deeper purpose behind the path. Every step with Him changes you, shapes you, and draws you closer to His heart. So breathe in this morning air and know that you are not alone on this journey. Heaven walks beside you. The Spirit whispers to your soul. Christ Himself is your companion. And because of that, you can walk into the unknown with steady feet and a fearless heart. You are safe. You are guided. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Then let your heart settle into this truth. God is not simply giving you directions. He is offering you Himself. His presence is the greatest guidance you will ever receive, because when you walk with Him, even a path that seems uncertain becomes holy ground. You don't have to keep glancing over your shoulder wondering if you've gone the wrong way. Because you are not walking alone. His hand is on your shoulder. His voice is in your ear. And His Spirit is lighting the next step. Maybe today will bring opportunities you didn't expect, an invitation, a conversation, a choice that could change the shape of your future. When those moments arrive, remember this. Wisdom is not found in rushing ahead. It is found in pausing long enough to ask, Lord, Is this your way for me? And if you sense him saying wait, you will discover that waiting with God is never wasted time. If he says go, you will find strength you didn't know you had. And if his way leads you somewhere different than you imagined, you will one day look back and see how perfectly it fit the story he was writing. Letting God guide you is not a passive surrender, it is an active trust. It means waking up each morning ready to listen. It means holding your plans with open hands, so that if he wants to change them, you can say yes without resentment. It means seeing every interaction as an appointment he has arranged. Even if it seems small in the moment, you might not see the whole picture. But you can know this: nothing he asks you to do will ever take you away from his love. Perhaps you've been walking through a season where the road feels dim. The signs aren't clear, the prayers feel unanswered, and you wonder if you've missed his voice entirely. But hear this: God's guidance is not fragile, and you are not so powerful that you can derail his plans for you. If you are seeking him, he will find ways to lead you. Even through your uncertainty, his mercy is big enough to cover your mistakes. His grace is strong enough to realign your steps. And his patience is deep enough to walk with you until you learn to walk in rhythm with him. There will be times when the world around you tells you to take shortcuts, ways that promise quick rewards but lead to emptiness. And in those moments, God's voice will be the quiet reminder: my child, walk with me, even if the road is longer. The longer road with him is always better than the shortcut without him, because it keeps your heart close to his. So as you move into this day, picture yourself walking beside your shepherd. The road may curve, it may climb, it may narrow, but his pace is perfect. He is not hurrying you toward exhaustion, nor is he holding you back from joy. He is leading you at the speed of his love, which is always exactly what you need. And every time you match your steps to his, you will feel the quiet confidence that comes from being right where you belong. Even in the small choices ahead, what to say, how to respond, where to focus your energy, invite him into each one. Lord, guide me here, help me walk in your ways. You don't have to make it complicated. You just have to make it constant. This is how you turn an ordinary day into a holy journey, step by step, prayer by prayer, surrender by surrender. Because the truth is, walking in his ways is not about avoiding all trouble. It's about walking through trouble with the one who can carry you when your strength runs out. It's about knowing that no matter what lies ahead, he has already gone before you and made a way where there seemed to be none. And if you keep following, you will see his goodness unfold, not just in the end, but in every step along the way. And as you continue to breathe in this morning light, remind yourself, every step you take is not just movement. It is formation. God is shaping you with each choice you surrender to him. When you hold back a harsh word and choose gentleness instead, you are walking in his ways. When you refuse to let bitterness take root and choose forgiveness, even when it feels costly, you are walking in his ways. When you choose to lift your eyes in gratitude instead of letting complaints rule your tongue, you are walking in his ways. These small decisions, repeated in faith, are the stones that pave the road of a life guided by God. Do not think that his guidance will always come with thunder and lightning. More often, it comes as a whisper, a tug at your conscience, a scripture that lingers in your mind, a quiet sense of peace when you think about one choice, and unrest when you consider another. This is how the shepherd speaks to his sheep, and because you belong to him, you can trust that he will make his voice known to you in the ways you are able to hear it. The question is not whether he will guide, it is whether you will slow down enough to notice. This morning is your chance to practice that awareness. Before you rush into the noise of the day, set your heart to listen. Say to him, "Lord, make me attentive to your ways today. Don't let me walk blindly into my own will. Keep me close enough to hear you." That prayer, offered sincerely, becomes like an anchor in your soul. It keeps you steady when distractions try to pull you away, when fear tries to cloud your vision, when pride tempts you to believe you don't need God's leading at all. And remember, God's guidance is never just for your benefit. When he leads you, he is also using you as a light for others. The kindness you show, the patience you extend, the love you pour out, all of these things ripple outward to touch lives you may never fully know. Someone might see your calm spirit in a tense moment and wonder where your peace comes from. Someone might notice your willingness to forgive and find courage to forgive in their own life. In this way, your steps become more than your own. They become part of the path God is drawing for the world around you. Think about Jesus, how he walked. He never rushed ahead of his Father's will. He never let the crowd push him into shortcuts. He walked in prayer, in obedience, in compassion, and in doing so, he revealed what it looks like to let God guide every step. If you want to know how to walk today, look at him. His life was not about comfort or ease, but about faithfulness, and every faithful step he took brought salvation to us all. Now, in your own life, you are invited into that same rhythm, not to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, but to carry his presence wherever you go, to bring light into dark places, to be steady in a world that is restless, to trust when everyone else is anxious. This is how you walk in his ways, not by perfection, but by constant surrender. So as the hours ahead unfold, choose again and again to release your grip and let him guide. When you feel lost, whisper his name. When you feel pressured, pause and ask for his wisdom. When you feel tired, lean into his strength. And when you feel joyful, don't forget to thank him. The gratitude will keep your feet light. Every one of these moments is part of the prayer you are living with your life. Because walking in his ways is not a single choice you make in the morning and then forget. It is 1,000 little choices, each one drawing you closer to the heart of God. And at the end of the day, when you look back, you will see not only where he led you, but also how he changed you along the way. There is something freeing about letting go of the need to know every detail. When you let God guide, you are no longer weighed down by the pressure of predicting outcomes or controlling every turn. You can rest in the truth that the one who holds the universe also holds your tomorrow. Think of how a child walks with a parent. The child doesn't have to understand the route, or calculate the distance, or prepare for every obstacle. The child only needs to place their hand in the parent's and trust. That is the same posture God invites you into this morning, to take his hand and walk without fear. And when you do, you will discover that his paths are not only safe, they are beautiful. Even when the road seems ordinary, when nothing dramatic happens, God is sowing seeds of grace into your day. The way the sunlight falls through your window, the laughter of someone you love, the moment of silence when you can breathe and remember His goodness. All of these are reminders that His ways are filled with life. You don't have to wait for miracles that shake the earth. Sometimes the miracle is simply that you are walking with Him at all. And that is more than enough. But do not confuse His guidance with ease. Sometimes His way will stretch you. He may lead you into a conversation you would rather avoid, because someone needs your compassion. He may guide you into patience when you would rather have immediate answers. He may ask you to step into service when you feel tired, or to rest when you would rather keep pushing. Each of these moments is part of the path. Each is an invitation to trust that His wisdom is greater than your own impulses. And when doubts rise, as they will, you can look back at the roads He has already carried you through. Remember the closed doors that seemed like loss but were actually protection. Remember the prayers you thought went unanswered, only to realize later they were answered in a better way. Remember the moments when you were sure you could not go on, and yet somehow you did. These are not accidents. They are the fingerprints of a God who has been guiding you all along. This is why you can step forward today with courage, not because you know exactly what will happen, but because you know who is leading. Courage does not mean you never feel afraid. It means you keep walking, even with trembling steps, because you trust the one who walks ahead of you. And the more you walk this way, the more you will see how His paths lead not only to external destinations but to inner peace. So let this morning be the beginning of a day where every choice, every thought, every action is filtered through a simple prayer. Lord, show me your way, and give me the grace to walk in it. That prayer will not return empty. It will open your eyes to possibilities you might have overlooked. It will soften your heart toward people you might have ignored. It will remind you that holiness is not found in grand gestures but in quiet, faithful steps of obedience. And when evening comes, and you look back on the hours you have walked, you will see traces of His guidance everywhere, in the strength that carried you through, in the peace that guarded your heart, in the love that flowed from you to others. And you will know that this day was not wasted, because it was walked in His ways. Every road you walk has a beginning, but only God knows its end. That is why trusting Him is so essential. You cannot see tomorrow, but He holds it. You cannot control how others will act, but He already knows. You cannot predict what storms may rise, but He has promised never to leave you when they do. So instead of carrying the crushing weight of trying to control every possibility, you can rest in the one who sees beyond every horizon. His ways are higher, His wisdom deeper, and His love stronger than anything that could come against you today. The truth is, many people spend their days chasing paths of their own making, only to find themselves exhausted and empty at the end of the road. But when you walk in God's ways, even if the journey is long, your soul is nourished along the way. The road itself becomes a blessing. Every step is accompanied by grace. Every burden you carry is shared with the one who said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." This is the kind of guidance that brings life, not a set of cold directions, but the living presence of Christ walking beside you, whispering, "This is the way, walk in it." Let this sink into your spirit. God is not only guiding you toward a destination, He is guiding you toward Himself. To walk in His ways is to walk into deeper relationship with Him. The road is not just about what you will do, but about who you will become as you walk with Him. You may become more patient, because His timing requires waiting. You may become more humble, because His way often asks you to serve rather than to be served. You may become more compassionate, because He will lead you into the lives of people who need His love through you. Every step is shaping you into the likeness of His Son. And yes, there will be days when your own desires feel louder than His whisper. Days when your plans seem so appealing, so urgent, that you are tempted to set aside prayer and just run ahead. But pause here. Has rushing ever brought you true peace? Has ignoring His voice ever led you into lasting joy? No, the peace you long for only comes from the shepherd's path. The joy that endures is only found in His ways. When you remember this, your heart can surrender again. Not out of fear, but out of love. This surrender is not weakness. It is the deepest kind of strength. To say, "Lord, lead me, even when I don't understand," is to declare that your faith is stronger than your fear. To trust His unseen hand is to walk in a freedom that nothing in this world can take away. This is the walk you are invited into this morning, the walk of faith. Step by step, into the arms of a faithful God. So as you rise into the rhythm of the day, imagine placing all of your decisions, big and small, into His hands. Imagine asking Him before you speak, "Lord, is this word aligned with your love?" Imagine asking Him before you act, "Lord, will this bring me closer to your ways?" Imagine asking Him before you plan, "Lord, is this the path you have prepared for me?" These small acts of prayerful dependence will transform an ordinary day into a holy one. And do not think you are walking alone. Countless saints before you have walked this same path of surrender. Mary, who said, "Be it done to me according to your word." Joseph, who obeyed even when the angel's command seemed impossible. The disciples, who left their nets to follow a teacher they barely knew, simply because they trusted His voice. Their journeys were not easy, but they were full of God. And your journey, too, will be full of God if you let Him guide. So take this morning as a fresh beginning. Let yesterday's mistakes and regrets fall away. Do not drag them onto today's road. God is not holding them against you. He is inviting you to walk forward. Forgiven and free, His mercies are new every morning. His compassions never fail, and today, His hand is extended toward you, ready to lead you again. Will you place your hand in His? Will you let Him show you the way? There is a deep peace that comes when you no longer have to figure everything out by yourself. Think of how heavy life feels when you try to carry it all, when you are the one deciding every detail, solving every problem, controlling every outcome. The weight of it presses on your shoulders until you can hardly breathe. But when you let God guide you, that weight shifts. Suddenly, you are not the one holding it all together. He is, and His strength never fails. He does not grow weary. He does not run out of wisdom. He does not get lost. So when you release control into His hands, you can finally rest. But letting Him guide you is not just about relief. It is also about direction. How many times have you stood at a crossroads, unsure which path to take? A new opportunity, a hard decision, a relationship that feels uncertain. In those moments, it is easy to panic, to overthink, to fear making the wrong choice. But here is the truth. If you are genuinely seeking Him, you cannot miss His path. Even if you stumble, even if you hesitate, He knows how to redirect your steps. His guidance is not fragile. He is not waiting for you to get everything perfect. He is simply inviting you to trust Him enough to move forward in faith, knowing He can adjust your course as needed. And the beauty is that His guidance does not always come in dramatic signs. Sometimes it comes as a steady conviction in your heart. Sometimes it comes through the wisdom of Scripture. Sometimes it comes through the counsel of a friend who speaks truth. Sometimes it comes in silence, forcing you to wait until He makes the way clearer. Each of these is still His voice. Each is still His hand, steadying you in love. This is why prayer is so vital. Not just the long prayers you whisper in the quiet of the morning, but the small prayers that weave through your day. Lord, should I speak or stay silent? Lord, help me choose patience here. Lord, open my eyes to see what you are doing. These small prayers are like threads, stitching your heart to His throughout the day. And the more you pray like this, the more you will find yourself aligned with His ways. Even without realizing it, walking in His ways will also mean learning to trust His timing. You may want things to move faster. You may wish for answers today, but His timing is never rushed, and it is never late. If He has not opened the door yet, it is because the right time has not come. If He has not given you clarity yet, it is because waiting is still part of His plan. This can be hard, but remember, delay with God is not denial. It is preparation. He is shaping you, protecting you, teaching you to depend on Him. And when the time is right, the path will be clear. So today, instead of fighting the uncertainty, rest in it. Rest in knowing that God's hand is on your life. Rest in knowing that you do not need to control everything. Rest in knowing that His ways are always better than your own. Say to Him even now, Lord, I surrender this day to you. Lead me where I need to go. Keep me from where I should not be. And let every step I take bring me closer to you. That is the prayer of a heart that truly walks in His ways. And when you live this way, you become a witness to others. People will see something different in you, not because you are perfect, but because you are peaceful. Not because you have all the answers, but because you are content to follow the one who does. Your life will quietly say, God is trustworthy. And sometimes, that testimony will be the very thing that draws others to seek Him for themselves. This is why it matters. Your walk is not just about you. It is about the glory of God shining through your life. Every step you take in His ways is a step that honors Him. A step that brings light into the darkness around you. A step that says to the world, there is a God who leads, and His ways are good. And now, as this prayer draws to its end, pause and look at where you are. Your heart is quieter than when we began. Your spirit is steadier. Your mind is clearer. This is what happens when you let God guide you. He does not just show you a path. He restores your soul along the way. Every word you have prayed this morning has been heard. Every longing you whispered has been received by the one who loves you more than you can comprehend. You may not see all the answers yet. You may not understand how today will unfold, but you do not need to. What you need is already yours, the assurance that God walks before you, beside you, and behind you. You are surrounded by His presence. You are kept by His mercy. You are carried by His grace. no matter what the day brings. You will not face it alone. So walk boldly, not because the road is easy, but because the one who leads you is faithful. Walk gently, not because you are weak, but because you know His strength is enough. Walk humbly, not because you doubt your worth, but because you trust that your worth is secure in Him. And walk joyfully, not because everything is perfect, but because you are walking with the one who is perfect. Let your final prayer this morning be simple but strong. Lord, I give you my steps. Guide me, and I will follow. Keep me, and I will trust. Lead me, and I will walk in your ways until the very end. Those words, spoken from the heart, are enough to carry you through this entire day. And as you rise now, go with blessing. May your heart stay soft to His whispers. May your eyes see the doors He opens. May your ears hear the quiet call of His Spirit. And may your feet never stray from His path. You are not walking into this day alone. You are walking with God, and that makes all the difference. Thank you for sharing this time of prayer. If these words have blessed you, remember to stay with us, subscribe, and return again tomorrow, so we can continue to walk together in the presence of the Lord. Until then, may the peace of Christ be with you, and may His guidance lead you in every step you take. Amen. Thank you, my dear friends, for joining me in this morning prayer. As you step into your day, remember, you are not walking alone. God is guiding your every step. If this prayer has touched your heart, I invite you to subscribe, so we can keep praying together each morning. I look forward to meeting you again in the next prayer. Until then, may the Lord bless you, protect you, and fill your day with His peace.